All right, let's go. We're gonna hop straight into today's session. Um, Today's session was definitely different. Just a little overview before we dive into it. No trades were taken today, but the market was moving, and we'll go through it. That way, I can show you guys, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. And that way, I have this journal for myself as well. So if we take a look, we're on the 3 hour. We see price is still within this large 3 hour range. It's been within this range all month. It hasn't left it yet, so we could jump straight to the 1 hour. We jump to the 1 hour, we see price is still within this range from this low to this high, and it's been there since the 19th. So it's going on a little over a week that it's been within this 1 hour range. So it hasn't broken there either. Let's catch up time to where we show up, which is right around 6. I mean, we show up at 7, but of course, we typically a few minutes late, which is okay. So now we just want to focus on what it's doing on the 10 minute because the 1 hour, regardless of this internal structure, is still from this low to this high, which has not been broken yet. But price does look like it's making its way up. So let's go down to the 10 minute, see what's going on. We'll simulate, we're maybe 20 minutes late. So we just skipped ahead 2 candles right to 710. All right. So the first thing we want to do is find the last bit of structure that we can clearly define. So the last bit of clearly definable structure for me is right here. So that's a 10-minute high. Boom. This was 10-minute low. And 10-minute. All right. So from here, price broke, then started a pullback. So this is still the low. This is the new high. Price pulled back a tiny bit to about right here. And then it shot back up past, push, shot all the way up to here, creating this high. So we can clearly see this high was never broken, but this low was broken. Price came to the low, rejected a little bit, then pushed through, and it only gave one candle push. So this is a low probability 10-minute area. So the 10-minute is downtrending, but it's a low probability because it only gave a one candle push on the break. So we see that price is stuck within this area. Price has impulse to the downside a little bit, and it looks like it's beginning to retrace. But because this is low probability, we don't really care what it's doing on the 10-minute. We want to go to the 5-minute, focusing on this area right here to see what price is doing. So let's go to the 5-minute. What's the last bit of definable structure we can find on the 5-minute? So for me, I like to always go to one that's super duper clear. That way it's hard to mess it up or wonder if you did something right or wrong. So this is 5-minute. This is 5-minute. So price went from a low, created a high here, pulled back a little bit, shot past it, boom, boom. So now we have to zoom in to get the perfect look. Price did break this line because we see once we touch the line, the candle actually closed over it. So what that means is price pulled back to here, to this new low, and then broke right here, which is a low probability high, which is low probability for the simple fact that it was only a one candle break and then it shot right back down. So again, we don't really care what's going on the 5-minute either. 5-minute is uptrending. So now we're going to our lowest time frame, which is the 2-minute, because the 5-minute didn't give us any structure. So same type of scenario, but we focus more on this area. So me taking a look at it, what do I see? So I see that price pushed here, pulled back. This was the high, and then price broke it. So for me, that gives me a high probability 2-minute zone right here. Now, what do we see has happened already though? So what I see has currently happened Is price pushed? Yes, on this 2 minute, but now it's pulled back. Price is already pulled back to this zone, tested it, and now it's moving away. So I'm waiting for a break here, which is a 2 minute high, or I'm looking for price to test deeper than it did before. So I'm going to readjust my zone. I would need price to test somewhere deeper in here for me to even want to consider entering. If not, I'm just going to wait. So let's give price some candles. We can go watch it from the 5 minute because we know we're either looking for a test or a push. Boom. Price broke right here. Let's go to the 2 minute, see what that looked like. Boom. So we got a 2 candle push. We got a break here. And we got a push above. Only on the 2 minute though. On the 5 minute, it didn't even break. It got close, but we see it still didn't break. On the 2 minute, we actually got new structure though. So on the 2 minute, we got a low down here. So let's pull back. All right. So we can get rid of this one as it's broken structure already. We have this very, very large zone. Let's pull back, back, back. And now we just going to bring it down to the 50% mark. Identify this as a high. All right. So now we are looking for setups here. If price can test this zone. So price is in the zone. Price is in the zone. Price has broken the 2 minute zone. So now we go from looking at 2 minute bullish to looking at 2 minute bearish. Let's see where the candle ends. Boom. So right at the 5 minute low. So we could draw this here, bring it down there. And then the zone is technically from that low all the way up here. So clearly we have to refine this zone. All right. With the refining of it, pulls back to about right there. So a pretty nice zone. And now 2 minute is downtrending. So it hasn't broken 5 minute high or low yet, even though it wicked above here, hasn't broken below here. So we're just watching on the 2 minute and 5 minute to see what we get. Boom. So price is pushed into our supply zone. Let's see if we get a confirmation. Nope. Price broke straight back out again, but now it broke with some force. So what I want to do is I'm not where I want to go to the 5 minute to see how many times the 5 minute broke. So the 5 minute broke this once. Did it give us a second candle push? No, it did not. So now we're going to go ahead and adjust our 5 minute high to here. And our 5 minute low would technically be basically the same area. Let me move this 2 minute out the way. So this would be our same area. So now we want to look on the 2 minute though. So for the 2 minute, did it give a 2 candle push? Yes, it did. It broke the high here and then it pushed and closed above. So what we want to do is identify this new zone. Again, we want to check it, make sure it falls within the 50% pullback range. It does not, so we'll refine it just a little bit. All right, just to make sure it does. All right, let's see if price pulls back to it and gives any type of confirmation. So price broke the 5 minute, but we forgot that it also broke the 10 minute. So we did forget to check that. So price broke the 10 minute too. So we could just make this one 10 minute line because the 10 minute, 5 minute, and 2 minute all have the same high. So the 10 minute is low probability too for the same reason as the 5. And the 10 minute was downtrending, so that is correct. We'd have left that 10 minute low there, moved the high to here because it broke but gave a 1 candle push. The 5 minute low is still here, 5 minute high is here, which we can clearly see. It gave one push, and then the 2 minute gave us the higher probability setup. So let's see. Boom. So on the 2 minute, it closed above and it didn't get back to our zone. It got close, but close is not our zone. That's part of being disciplined in the market, is understanding that, okay, it has to pull back to my 50% range. Not 40, not 42, not 43, not close. It needs to pull back into my zone. If it doesn't pull back into my zone, it doesn't matter what the market does after that. I have to follow my trading plan. So it didn't close yet on the 5 minute or 10 minute, but it has closed on the 2 minute above. Let's see if it gave, nope, no two candle push. So on the 2 minute, we still have, this is an open zone, which we're going to leave, but we do have low probability 2 minute structure, which is here and here. And we could watch this on the 5 minute because we understand that either price is going to break this 2 minute high, break this 2 minute low, or it's going to come back to this open zone. So we're just watching. Boom. So it wicked above again. Let's see, did it break? Yep, it broke again. Gave us another low probability structure because it only closed above and didn't give a second candle push. So we could watch on the 5 minute for the same thing. We're looking for price to break, or test this open zone on the 2 minute. Nothing. Boom. So what do we get here? So we're on the 5 minute, and what do we notice? Price broke this 5 minute high and then pushed above. So now we're no longer worried about the 2 minute. We're not worried about the 2 minute anymore because we only focus on the 2 minute when there's no 5 minute structure available, or when the 5 minute and 2 minute structure is the same. Right now, the 5 minute and 2 minute structure is not the same because 2 minute structure would have had a low here and a new high here. 5 minute has a low here and a new high there. But we do know it's high probability. We just got to see how far it's going to push before it pulls back at all. So it's still pushing, still pushing, still pushing. So we can go ahead and draw our zone, which would be right here. And we don't have to refine it because, well, I know by just looking at it that it's over 50% pullback, but for the sake of the video, always measure it out. So looking at the current high, it's above the 50%. So I'm just going to leave, this is the full demand area. And now let's go to the 10 minute. Boom. So the 10 minute and 5 minute have the exact same structure. So until price defines its high on the 5 minute, I'm just going to keep letting it run, and let's see. Boom. Large push. Like, it's still going. It just hasn't stopped. Is that it? Perfect. So now price solidified its high on the 5 minute and on the 10 minute. So now we're just waiting. Like, it's nothing else to do. It's near the end of our session. We're waiting. We're seeing if price can make its way back to this zone to push off. Other than that, we're not looking for any 2 minute entries because we only look for 2 minute entries when the 5 minute gives us a low probability setup, or the 5 minute and 2 minute is the same. The 5 minute and 2 minute clearly aren't the same because price pulled back here, so, and then price pulled here. So 2 minute has its own structure, which we are not worried about right now. So we're just waiting to see what the 5 minute, what it does. And this is the end of the session. So towards the end of the session, price ended up getting close, but again, close is not it. So today we just didn't take any trades. So kind of referring back to what I was saying in the beginning about no trades was taken today, even though the market moved. This is a key part that I feel like, for myself, I know I struggled with very early on in my trading journey. And I feel like a lot of people struggle with. They feel like every time the market moves, they have to trade, or they miss something, right? Like, when we look here, we see that price moved quite a bit today. Like, it pushed up quite a bit. But for me personally, I don't feel like I missed out on anything because in my live session, price didn't do anything that provided an opportunity for me to catch this move. The same way when I back tested it and I'm going through my trading plan, I'm identifying my zones, price never pulled back to any of my zones, which means price never gave me an opportunity to be a part of these moves. Just because the market moves doesn't mean it moved in a way that you could have took advantage of. Like this is probably what, let's see, starting from here, starting from here. Price within my session moved a good 80 pips. It moved from this low at the beginning of my session to this high at the beginning. Price moved 80 pips during my session. However, nowhere within these 80 pips was there an opportunity that matched what my trading plan is, you know? Like for me, my opportunities only come from my trading plan. Opportunities don't come just from the market moving because like we seen today, the market can move and barely pull back and not pull back to the zones that give me an opportunity. Same here. Price can move and pull back, but it didn't get to my zone of opportunity within my session. So I don't stay around and try to wait. No, my session's over. Like we didn't lose any money today. We didn't make any money today, but we showed up to the market. We stayed open to opportunity when we thought it might be available, but price at the end of the day is going to do whatever it wants to do. So even though I showed up to the market, sat here through the whole session, marked up my zones as price made it available, and waited to see if price was actually going to test those zones and give me an opportunity to enter, today price didn't test any of my zones and give me an opportunity to enter. The only opportunities we had to enter was at the beginning where the 2 minute zone got tested, but it broke straight through, and then the 2 minute zone got tested again and broke straight through. Those were the only times price actually pulled back to our zones. Other than that, price just pushed, or it didn't pull back. It just gave a little bit of consolidation and then just pushed off. So even though this is just hopefully this, if anybody's watching this or anybody sees this and you're somebody who feels like, oh man, like the market moved 100 pips today, but I didn't catch any trade, I did something wrong. No, this is a big lesson in trading, which is every day is not a trading day for you. Whatever your edge is, whatever your trading plan is, whatever your system is, if your system doesn't present itself, even if the market moves 100 pips today, like there was nothing for you to do. There was nothing you could have done different because your trading plan wasn't respected. And we can't control what the market does as traders. All we can control is what we decide to do and how we decide to react as traders. For me, I've learned the hard way that if my trading system isn't available, then I just should not trade. Because trying to force trades or switch up my system so I can take advantage of every single move of the market does nothing but confuse you, frustrate you, and ultimately leave you unprofitable. Consistent profitability in the market comes from consistently executing your same trading plan over and over and over. And when it's not there, not taking trades at all, no matter how much the market moved or how much you want to take a trade. Like, you got to be able to stay disciplined and hold out. So today, even though the market moved, as we've seen through the back test, there was no opportunities for my edge that would have gave me the opportunity to enter. So there was no trades taken today. Now at the end of my session, price is finally testing a zone, but again, got to stay disciplined. My trading session is from 7 to 11. It is 11:10. So I got other things to do now. I'm on to the next part of my schedule for the day. So I'm not going to sit around chasing a trade. Price didn't present an opportunity during my session, so now I'm going to leave. So hopefully this helped somebody. But yeah, just going to show up tomorrow, see if it's any opportunities tomorrow, and go from there.